Good morning. Welcome to Member Focus Monday. I'm Christina Schaefer, Social Media Manager for HAR. I'm joined this morning by Anthony Petrie. Anthony, welcome.
Hi.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
If we could just start off, Anthony, if you could just introduce yourself.
Sure. I'm Anthony Petrie with Commercial Gateway. Commercial Gateway is the commercial division of HAR, and I wear many hats. So I do a lot of things with Commercial Gateway and for HAR in general.
Okay, very good. So you deal with a lot of strictly commercial agents. We also, of course, have 39,000 members, so
Right.
A lot of them are doing residential. We get a lot of questions from residential realtors, so that's really why we wanted to have you on, is kind of to talk about the differences a little bit. So if you're a commercial agent watching, you're going to get something out of this. If you're residential, hopefully you'll get something out of this too. But just to start off, what would you recommend, to a residential realtor that's looking to get into commercial?
Well, a couple of things I'd start with. Number one would be networking. I think a big component in commercial real estate is the networking aspect. Because like you said, for residential, we've got 39,000 MLS subscribers on one hand, and on the other hand, for commercial, it's a much smaller, tight-knit community. I'd say with probably about 4,000 people in general, or in total for the Houston market. And so what we'll find is there are networking groups where people get together and meet each other, but then talk about a specific topic. But that's a good way to really get your toes wet, if you will, and meet people and understand how it all works.
Okay, very good. What would you say is maybe the biggest challenge for residential realtors who are trying to maybe get into commercial?
It's just a different business. I mean, I think the biggest challenge is the commercial clients will approach a real estate transaction in a completely different way than a residential client would. So I think for the person who's wanting to go from residential to commercial, I think they need education, number one. I mean, I think just understanding what it's all about, how it all works is a big step that's would need to be taken by a residential agent. And there are plenty of classes here with HAR and other affiliates that could help. Mish Guillory, she's a great instructor. She's doing some commercial leasing courses this summer. I've been to those and they're fantastic. There's no one doing classes like she's doing. CCIM, they also have several courses that you can work through to earn a designation for the Certified Commercial Investment Member, that's CCIM. And then for Commercial Gateway, we offer a Commercial Gateway training course. I teach that course. But then we're also putting together a Commercial CE series this year. So look out for that. We've partnered with a group called BizNow. They do a lot of networking events, speaker panel events. And so we've worked with them so that an agent can go to that program, do the networking in the morning, sit through the couple of speaker panels a little after that, and really gain some terrific insight into a particular market or area of town. And so not only do you get that insight and that education, you also get 2 hours CE credit for attending. And on top of that, we've also have a Legal Update 1 and 2 with a commercial focus that's scheduled in October. That's something new that we're doing, and we're really excited about that. So if you're doing commercial primarily, or you want to do commercial primarily, I think those education courses are well worth it.
Yeah, and that CE, like you said, the Legal 1 and 2, everybody has to have that. But if you are focused on commercial, that's a great opportunity. But then also, if you're maybe just looking into commercial, that might be a good opportunity to get educated as well. So you said that's coming in October 25th.
It's a full day event, 1 and 2 together on October 25th.
And is that on the EDU site where they can look for that?
Yes. har.com/edu. Just type commercial as your keyword search and you'll see it right there.
So as long as you're not renewing before October, that's a really good opportunity. But then you could even take it for your next renewal, I guess. So that would be good too. Okay. What are some maybe other challenges? Obviously education, but what are some other challenges that you've noticed?
I think just understanding the way it works. I think it's just a completely different field, a completely different structure in the way the transaction happens. And so I think for an agent moving from residential to commercial, just really wrapping their minds around how it works. Kind of a funny story. I've heard brokers tell me that there's an 80-20 rule where in a residential transaction, 80% of that transaction is emotional. It's an emotional purchase. And for the commercial real estate transaction, it's the exact opposite, that it's 80% of it is a financial decision. It has to make sense financially, and only 20% of it is an emotional purchase. That it's just, again, just a completely different way of looking and understanding the way the deal works.
Yeah. I hear a lot of residential realtors say, that by the end of the transaction, they feel like, a therapist to their client, or, I've made a best friend, or different things like that. I'd imagine it's a little different with commercial, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm sure that takes a little getting used to.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's just, like I said, it's just a different way, a different transaction, a different way it's approached, and it's just, different.
Okay. Very good. So can you tell us, you mentioned Commercial Gateway, and you said you teach some Commercial Gateway classes. So can you tell us about Commercial Gateway? What is Commercial Gateway, and explain that to us?
Sure. And like I mentioned earlier, Commercial Gateway is the commercial division of HAR.
Okay.
So we're part of the HAR family, but it is a separate service from HAR and MLS. So we do have a public-facing website, Commercial Gateway. It's comgate.com. So just like we have har.com for residential real estate, we have comgate.com for commercial real estate.
Okay.
And so the general public can go and search for properties on Commercial Gateway on comgate.com. But then brokers and agents would join Commercial Gateway as a member to list their properties, to run more extensive searches, detailed reports. We have demographic reports, drive time reports, retailer maps. Just a lot of cool things in Commercial Gateway.
Wow, that sounds really good. So there are other sources out there, but can you tell us how Commercial Gateway differs from other online sources with commercial?
Well, sure. And you're right. There are others out there. I think what makes Commercial Gateway unique is that we are, again, part of HAR. And so it's just a different approach to the whole thing. So, I mean, the bottom line is HAR was founded as a not-for-profit broker cooperative. And so that's kind of in our DNA, if you will. It's not about making the most amount of money, not about, getting, a little bit of money every time, you do a deal from one of our agents. It's just a flat fee service. You pay one flat fee and you get everything. Any service that we offer is included in that $65 per month or $195 per quarter fee. And so that's, unlimited listings, email broadcasts, all the reports, just everything's included in that one flat fee. There are no upgrades or premium memberships or any other way to, nickel and dime, your clients the way that some other people do. And I don't want to, drag anyone through the mud or bash any other companies out there, but we do things differently because we are part of HAR.
Sure. Well, very good. So har.com, as you mentioned, Comgate is kind of like the residential version, if you will, of har.com, right? So har.com is consumer facing, Comgate is consumer facing. har.com, we know, is a statewide website. We have properties all over the state of Texas. Our members can log into Matrix and find properties, locally, but they can also find them in other states. They can find them internationally. So it has a pretty big reach. What is the reach of Commercial Gateway?
Good question. So for Comgate specifically, we're pushing to a statewide service too. So we have brokers in the Beaumont, Port Arthur, Orange area on our eastern boundary, and then moving south into Corpus, we have listings out there. And in fact, I was actually out in New Braunfels last week. There's a group of brokers out in the New Braunfels, Seguin, San Marcos area who are wanting to get on to a service like Commercial Gateway. But apart from that, the technology we use is called Catalyst. And Catalyst is actually in 45 different markets across the U.S. So when you list your properties in Comgate, not only are they reaching across Texas, they're reaching across the entire United States and even into Canada.
Wow.
So Catalyst has systems in L.A., in Denver, in Minneapolis, the Carolinas. So again, you put your listing in Commercial Gateway, and there are people across the country who will see it.
That's great. And is that also different from the other sources you mentioned?
It's kind of the same. I mean, we're just really trying to expand from a Houston focus. I mean, we're we're from Houston, so
Sure.
most of the listings are going to be in Houston. But again, we've got just that reach that's going across across the U.S.
That's great. All right, so let's take a look, see if we have any questions so far from our members. A lot of people telling you good morning this morning.
Hi.
And Claudia just said, great work, buenos dias. So if you have a question for Anthony about commercial or about Commercial Gateway, go ahead and type it into the comments, and we'll get to that question. So is there anything else that you want us to know about? Anything that we haven't covered really about what you do or about CommGate or anything like that?
Well, sure. And like I said, I encourage everyone who doesn't know Commercial Gateway to visit commgate.com. That's COMMGATE.com.
Mm-hmm.
There is a public search. You don't have to be a member to search for properties. But go to the website, click the public search, search for office properties, for industrial properties. You'll find not only office, industrial, but retail, land, multifamily even. It's all there. Now, when you do log in as a member, there are going to be some differences. The interface is really close, but you'll have access to just far more reports after you log in.
Mm-hmm.
So again, the demographics reports, the drive times are something I really like. I think that's one of the other differences that I find with our site is that we like sharing information. The
Mm-hmm.
other sites out there, they really lock it down, and you have to pay to view and look and run reports. But for us, we believe in sharing information. We want people to find your listing.
Right.
And so we allow for data exports. We even partner with economic development groups. So your Fort Bend EDC, your Brazoria County EDC, the Woodlands EDP, Conroe. We're soon to come online with Baytown, West Chambers County. So again, we're pushing the listing data out to these different sites. So when a business is looking to move into one of these areas, they can search for commercial real estate on that website, and it's all Commercial Gateway data that they're viewing.
That's great. The Commercial Gateway class that we mentioned, do you have to be a Commercial Gateway subscriber to take that class?
You do not. You do not have to be a Commercial Gateway subscriber to take the Commercial Gateway training course. And in fact, I find a lot of agents will come in and test drive the system because they can come in and look and see what it's all about, and then decide for themselves if that's what they want to do.
Very good. And how often do you offer those courses?
Here at the HAR Central office, every third Friday of the month. The only exception, there are a couple of exceptions throughout the year. I think in March, it's Good Friday, so we bumped it back a day. And then actually this month in February, it's February 13th that we're having the training class, which is a Wednesday. And it's always from 9 to 11 here at the main HAR campus on the Southwest Freeway.
Very good. Okay. So Iris is asking, I think she's saying, can a residential realtor look up, or what can a residential realtor look up in commercial real estate?
So you can look at anything in commercial real estate. I wonder what she's asking is if there's a distinction. There really isn't a distinction between your license. So it's not a commercial license. There's not a residential license. If you have a license, a real estate license in Texas, it's good for either one. You can practice commercial real estate or residential real estate. It's the same license.
Okay. I think that kind of ties into what Tim is also asking. How many educational hours are needed to get into commercial?
Again, it's the same. Yeah. It's the same sort of thing. There isn't a different rule for commercial agents as opposed to residential agents. It's all the same license.
Very good. Kathy said, you mentioned going to networking events. Where can we find information about those events?
So you can go to the CommGate website, commgate.com. We have a calendar of events. You can also look in your Realtor magazine, your Houston Realtor magazine. We put the calendar of events there too. And so what might put you off is some of the acronyms, because they all use acronyms. So we have CREN, which is the Commercial Real Estate Network. That's a great group. They have a lunch meeting. They actually have two lunch meetings. They have a lunch meeting. They have what's called a property information exchange meeting, where there's a lunch, and then they have what's called a haves and wants round, where people will go around the room and say, I've got this listing. I have this listing, and they tell the other agents in the room about it. And then after that round is over, then they have a wants meeting, which means, well, I have a client who wants a particular property type. So CREN does that every month, and they also have a happy hour every month. Then there's BayCREN, which is the Bay Area Commercial Real Estate Network, and they meet out at the Lakewood Yacht Club every month, and they have a luncheon, and it also begins with a haves and wants session too. CCIM is another good networking group. Again, they have a lunch meeting every month. For those in the Fort Bend area, there's the Fort Bend Society of Commercial Realtors. They meet every third Tuesday of the month. So again, there's just a lot of these little networking groups that get together where you can meet people, in a particular area, who are practicing commercial real estate, and learn a lot, even just by going to these events and participating.
Right. And that's great that they're regionalized because, especially with those needs and wants, that's
right.
Yeah, that's really helpful.
And I don't want to forget CREAM. There's the Commercial Real Estate Association for Montgomery County. So they have a monthly luncheon too, and they're out in the Woodlands, and they have a monthly networking group.
Okay. And so we can find all of those events on comgate.com.
All of those on comgate.com or in your Houston Realtor magazine.
Houston Realtor magazine. Very good. That looks like all the questions we have from our members. Is there anything else you want to add or?
Visit comgate.com. I mean, like I said, the one, if there's one thing that you can take away is visit comgate.com. We've got over 17,000 listings on that site. Visit today.
Yeah. I think the way consumers like to go to hr.com and window shop, maybe our members can go on there and kind of window shop and take a look.
Exactly.
And then they can always reach out to you if they have questions about any of this.
Absolutely. And I'm here at the HAR office. So again, 713-629-1900. The general commercial gateway extension is 363. I can help or anyone on the team up at Comgate can help.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And thank you again for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Well, that is it for this morning. Thank you for tuning in for another Member Focus Monday. We'll see you back next week at 9 a.m. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.